All right, welcome back to the podcast. We are already giggling. And we are here, dun dun dun, to share a tell-all.
And it's so juicy. What we're really here today is to literally, I want you to feel like you're sitting in our living room right now and we're just hanging out, talking about what's been going on with a friend, which is exactly kind of what's been going on for us lately. There are lots of things that both of us have been moving through, sifting through, asking questions, figuring out what we really want, not just from business, but like family life, our future life. Like, what do we want it? Are we actually setting ourselves up for the future that we want? These are things, they sound really like heavy and deep questions. But the way that we've approached them has not felt that way. I haven't felt like I'm on the edge of, am I like, oh my God, am I doing everything I have to be doing right now to set my future self up for success? It hasn't felt that way. And yet I know that the decisions we are making are setting ourselves up for success in one way or another. So, without being vague for 10 minutes, we're literally going to tell you what has been going on for both of us with family and with business, and how we've been working through that, how we've been planning, how we've been designing the things that we want to happen. And then maybe you'll know that you're not alone. Maybe you'll know that, oh, this isn't a life crisis. I could approach it from a different way. I could tiptoe through it. One thing you're going to learn about me, if you haven't already, is I'm a decide and go kind of person. Like, I don't have the energy to mess around. I don't want to think about things for 2 weeks. I want to decide right now, and I want to make the decision. And then if it's not the right decision, then I'll figure it out afterwards. But this has been different because I know that this is a big, when I look back on this moment 15 years from now, I'm going to understand that this was a pivotal moment. This season of my life was a pivotal moment for myself, for my family, for Marley's family, and for all of the clients and people that we get to meet in the future and serve in the future. So we're just going to let you in. Grab a cup of coffee, pause it if you need to, grab a glass of wine, whatever you need to get through this episode. Put your feet up, put your cozy sweater on, and let's just have a girl chat for a bit.
I've literally got my blanket on as usual. I'm cozy. My dog is about to bark at the postman or something, so we'll hope he reins that in. But I'm so excited for this episode because I've been wanting to sort of address what's been going on, but haven't.
But how?
But how, and do I care right now? Because I'm good with what I'm doing, but I know my audience probably has some questions. So we were like, let's just do an episode and let's just get it all out there. So that's what this podcast is about: being honest and open and showing the real behind the scenes of what it really looks like to build a business, especially from home, especially when you've got kids and family and all the other things going on. There's always a lot of balls that we're juggling. So where should we start, Becca? Where should we start?
Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, okay, let's go with this. I have been quiet on social media. My audience has probably seen this. I think it's been a solid 2 months of me really being very quiet. I'm not in stories almost at all. I am posting a little bit, especially our podcast promos, but I'm not actively creating content or selling or just showing up and sharing in the things that I was so actively doing over the last few years. And this is just really, it almost accidentally happened, but I did sort of make a formal decision at one point to really do this and let myself have this space. And I mean, there's not some big juicy thing about it. It's just that I got to a place where I went, okay, I think I need a little bit of quiet time. I just need a little quiet time. I need to not sell anything right now. I need to figure out exactly what I want to sell next, because I was kind of excited about so many things that I was sort of jumping here and jumping there. And there's so much that I have to say and that I want to share and that I want to do in my business that I was actually just getting really indecisive. And I realized it wasn't that I don't know what I want to teach or I don't know what I'm excited about. It was that I'm actually dealing with a little bit of burnout, I think. I think I need a little bit of quiet time because outside of my coaching business isn't burning me out. That wasn't it. I just have so much going on behind the scenes in my personal life that are really exciting and that required a lot more of me than I realized that they would going into them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is sort of what, like looking back, that is how I ended up in this space. And so I gave myself permission to slow down in this bucket so that I could speed up in these other buckets.
Mm-hmm.
So again, not to be vague, my husband and I bought a waste management business in the fall, which is totally new for us. And not totally outside,
unexpected,
but very unexpected. It kind of happened out of nowhere. We were like, let's do it. Let's buy this business. He's in contracting, so it's sort of not, outside of his realm. But that was a whole new exciting venture to run down and to get to learn how to manage and price and, just all the logistics of setting up a new business that is an in-person service-based business. And it was just really exciting to get to do. And it took a lot more of our time and energy than we realized to just get it set up. So we spent, the first 6 months just getting to know the business and figuring out our client base and not growing. I mean, we almost doubled our revenue in those first couple months, which was really exciting and affirming as a business owner and a business coach. But we really didn't even start advertising until about 6 months in. And then it's now, again, I'm like afraid to post content in all my businesses because I'm getting so much business from our social medias. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we have a rental property, and that business, it is a business for us, and we quickly wanted to turn that into a duplex. So it was a single family home that we turned into a duplex. And the long and the short of that is just, it took a year, and we thought it was going to take 3 months to do that reno, just with dealing with contractors and, timelines changing and just so many things outside of our control.
But in the middle of that, you were remodeling your own kitchen.
Yeah. And I keep forgetting that. And you keep reminding me that we actually took our kitchen here and moved it over to the rental so that we could buy a new kitchen for our home. So that, with 4 kids, was a whole thing just after Christmas to tear your kitchen out. We have done
and live that way. Yeah.
We have done so many renos over the last, 8 years. And I will say, and with kids, right? Like we've lived through them with kids. It's been chaos, but I will say there is nothing like a kitchen reno. A kitchen reno, I did not realize. Oh, all the stuff. A bedroom is like, a dresser and a bed. You can put it in the hallway standing on its side. You can't do that with all your things in all your drawers and cabinets. It was chaos. And I keep forgetting, like we've lived 10 lives in the last 12 months. Mm-hmm. And so there's just been so much going on personally that I just needed a slowdown. And so the message behind that Becca and I were just chatting about and really wanting to put forward is you have to listen to yourself and make sure that you're taking care of yourself first. And it's okay. Like part of that for me wasn't like some self-care story. It's actually just like, I was really excited about the rental. I was really excited about this new business. And so my coaching business, while it's still such a passion of mine, it just needed a little minute to let me focus on the other exciting endeavors that we have going on. Because one of the goals that my husband and I have is to have more passive income, or like passive-ish income, we'll say. Because we want a little more passive income. We are not the ones, doing the waste management. We have somebody that we contract. So we're just in charge of overseeing and being the CEOs. And so that is a little bit more passive for us. We are the ones, collecting rent and just making sure that the properties are functioning well and our tenants are happy. So that one's a lot more passive. And so that took some time to get up and going. And we're actually already now, we just got tenants in, signed our agreements this week. And we're looking at buying another duplex almost immediately. So we've just been chatting with our financial guy. We just sent in all the paperwork that we needed to collect for them just yesterday. So that is a really exciting, just thing going on in our lives. That is something we've talked about for years, is wanting to have, 5 or 10 rental properties. And so now we're actively building towards that, and so much quicker than we thought possible. And I mean, again, to bring it back to because we know our numbers, because we've built all these skills, because I'm such a confident business owner now, I'm able to take all these skills that I've built through business and coaching and all of the things I've done in my career to intentionally build this lifestyle and these income streams that we want. And that just looked like me slowing down a little bit on Instagram. It is not a crisis, you guys, to take 5 from your social media and from selling if it feels like it will serve you in the long run.
Well, to that same point, it's the same. Business owners feel like they can't take a vacation and take a break from work, right? They can't take a vacation and lay their coaching business down for a week while they go on vacation. They feel like they can't take off because their kids are sick or whatever. Because you know your numbers so well, and because you're so confident manipulating those numbers, honestly, you had the ability to give yourself the permission to walk away for just a bit. You didn't walk away from it. You just laid down the active, the forward facing parts of it. Yeah. The marketing and the selling. You had to lay those parts down for just a bit. You still have clients. You're still coaching. You're still your business is still moving. But you get to do these other things without stressing yourself out because you knew your numbers. And similarly, we've been doing similar things over here in this family. My daughter is already out of school for the summer. She didn't even go all the way through May, which is why? Why do you do that to us? And that's as a former teacher, you guys. I know how it is. But my son is out next Friday, and then he doesn't go back to school. We're homeschooling him. So we know that today and tomorrow, so we're recording this on a Thursday, Friday, and then next week are his last days of school. And then he'll be at home with me full time. And that in the last 3 or 4 weeks has put me, while we are prepared for it, don't get me wrong, financially we're prepared for it. Mentally, I'm prepared to homeschool him. That's not the issue. But what happened was all of a sudden I was like, oh, shoot. I don't think I'm ready for this. My schedule's not ready for this. My business is not set up for this. The logistics of my business are not set up for this. And it was oh, crap. I've gotten myself in too deep, too fast, and now I don't know how to fix this. What do I do? Do I dump all my one-on-one clients and just say, sorry, I don't have time for you? Do I stop selling into Mind Her Business? what do I do? Because my goal is to never resent my family because I have to work. I love to work, you guys. Love. I would choose to work if I have an option because I love what I do. And also the goal was to be here with my family, not to park them in front of a TV for 8 days a week. And mommy has to go work. That felt stressful. So Marley and I, and this is not my personality, I don't like doing this, but I did understand it was necessary for this season for both of us. What does this look like for us? So Marley and I have been told for the better part of 2 years from every client that we are in front of together, you guys need to do something together. Your coaching is really good together. And so we've been that's just been something we filed away. We just filed it away for a bit. And we were okay, in 10 years, that'll be cool. And then it just got to the point, probably since January, right?
I mean, when we started the podcast, that was sort of our first, let's start here and see where it goes.
Yeah, the podcast has been wildly successful. You guys are messaging us a lot, talking about the conversations that we're having, and we're so thankful for that. First, that you're listening, and second, that you reach out to us and tell us how it's resonating with you. So in the back end, like, I won't drag this out. We have been trying to figure out, what does that look like for us to work together? What does that look like for our businesses to kind of merge? And so we didn't know. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
we've
know.
been
How do you do
going
this?
back and forth on this for so long, and I
It could
think
look
that
like this. It could look like that.
yeah,
Is this the best way to serve the clients? Is this the best way
yes,
to do this
that
for our family? Like,
that was one of my biggest, I mean, our biggest worries was, or reservations even, is like, we want to do it. We know they're asking for it, but we weren't sure, like, okay, so is it really what our clients need? And so we're really focused on making sure that whatever we do dive into together, and whatever that does look like when the time comes, we want to make sure it's in the best interest of the people in front of us, the people that we're serving and supporting, over like what we want to do because we love working together.
right.
It's
Because
got
we
to
could just live on Voxer every evening if that's the case, like we normally do. But so what we did, because we weren't sure what this looked like. We've never been down this road before. We've never seen someone do this before. So there is a big company, like a machine in the coaching world, that has done this. That they have merged their businesses. They have merged, and like, they are extremely successful. Not just the business, but their clients are extremely successful. And that's the most important part to us. Your results matter to us more than us getting to work together. And I think that's why we love our businesses, because we are so client result focused. So I decided I'm just going to shoot my shot. Like, I'm going to ask them, how the heck did this work for you? Because we don't know what we're doing. And it doesn't help that we are international. Like, Marley's in Canada, I'm in the US, and like, what does that look like? That feels sticky. And so I just decided I was going to do it. I reached out to them, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we would love to tell you how this happened." And so she gave me a rundown of like how it happened and the steps that she would recommend that we take. And I remember being like, "Oh my God, Marley, like, we're literally already doing everything she said to do."
It's so
So we're
validating.
there. It was so validating. And it made us feel like
We can trust
we're
ourselves.
so smart, and we can trust ourselves, and we can
We're
trust.
really good at what we do.
We're really good at this.
We say that to each other like once a week.
If
Oh
you're
my
not
God,
saying that to yourself, by the way, like, start today. We're really good at what we do.
we're really good at what we do.
And in all seriousness, the reason that we are good at what we do is because we care about the right things. And it matters to us that it's not just our bank accounts. It's literally like, you matter to us. So, anyway, I think I've said that like 800 times today. But anyway, we have decided that that is something that we are actively pursuing. We are in the middle of figuring out what those logistics look like right now. And within the next 60 days, that is going to be what happens. And when we get everything nailed down, we'll share exactly what that looks like for you. If you're like, yeah, tell me more. What we did, though, is we took a step back and we asked questions that I didn't want to ask. I just wanted someone to tell me what to do, and I wanted to just go do it and be done. Like, okay, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And then we can move past this. And then we can have like more fun on the other side. But that's not how this worked. And that's why I feel like this is such a pivotal moment for both of us when we look back on this. I think we're going to be so proud of the way that we've handled this and the way that you've brought up some things to me that I know are probably not the most comfortable for you to bring up. Like, how does pay structure work for this? Like, how does sharing clients work? Like, what happens if someone's not happy and with one of us and is happy with the other? Like, those are legitimate concerns.
There's
And
nothing
we
we haven't laid out on the table.
literally laid out everything. Like, what happens with the one-on-one clients that we individually have? Like, how does that pay work? Like, we've had to navigate some really sticky and uncomfortable conversations, but we know that handling them right now, like face to face right now, will save us so much heartache and so much stress and so much worry in the future that it
Yeah.
can only benefit everybody involved. So if you're in the middle of making hard decisions in your business or your family, in your personal life, or all of the above, inch by inch. And I hate to tell you that. I hate it for you because I hate it for me. But like inch by inch, answer one question at a time and
Yes.
be willing to look at the situation from multiple angles,
Yeah.
because Marley always has such a different take on it than I do. I'm so like almost black and white. Like it is what it is. Like let's just do it and go. And Marley's like, "But what if?" And so if you don't have somebody in your life to ask you that, to
Get
challenge
you
you, to
somebody.
get
Yeah.
you better get it today. Like, because I would have made all kinds of crazy decisions.
Yeah, and I
Had
wanna
to walk
circle
them
back.
back. I think that's the part that scares me the most is I would have had to walk them back. It's like
Right.
some of those decisions would have had to be walked back real quick, and that makes you feel silly to like people who are watching you. It makes you feel like you're not a real business owner to people who are watching you.
Yeah, or like you're doing one step forward, two steps back, it can
Yeah.
feel like. I want to circle back before we wrap up today's episode to something you said earlier. You mentioned your schedule and how coming into the summer all of a sudden was feeling like, oh my gosh, like I'm not ready. I want to say it's not that you weren't actively like you actually had a plan for your schedule going into the summer. It's not like you didn't think about it. We didn't have many conversations about it, mapped it out, troubleshooted. What about this? What about that? How can you get some support? Like we talked about it all. And when you actually get to start repping out the plan is where you see the cracks, or where you get to feel what's actually feeling hard, what was good in concept, but maybe not so much in execution. There was so much learning that has come from it, like the day approaching, and then the mindset side of it, where you were like, oh, I thought the year was over. I was thinking it was like almost 2024, school's ending, it's the end. And I was like, Becca, it's May. Can you just take
What's
5?
what's that children's book like where the sky's falling, the sky's falling? And
Yeah, but we're at like 8 more months to go. Like we're good. But
oh yeah.
there was just so much that mentally what came up for you once we approached this big shift happening. That the message there is just like, you can have a plan all you want, but it takes execution to see what's really going to feel good and be actually effective in your situation.
To poke holes in it. And you
Yeah.
always need either a person or a circumstance to poke holes in your plan or what you have coming up, because that's the only way you're going to see where the pitfalls are. That's the only way that you're going to see, oh, this, like on paper, this looks amazing. In real life, I quit. Like,
Yeah. So we wanted today to really just be to let you in behind the scenes. We want to know from you, did you like this episode? What spoke to you? What stood out to you? What did you hear that maybe gave you some permission or some affirmation that, you know, what you're doing is okay? What's feeling hard right now is actually okay. This isn't so bad. Other people are going through it too. We want to know what's coming up for you after today's episode. Please let us know. Send us a DM, put a review under this episode. We always love it. Literally makes our day when we hear those and see those messages coming through. And we just hope that something today gave you some permission to see that you're not alone. The hard is happening to everyone and everything. And it's just part of the journey. And it's something that you can choose to navigate with grace and with intention when you learn how to become a professional problem solver, like Becca and I so often talk about.